Hey guys, what's up? How you going? Now, it's been a few days. Lots of things have happened. The big news is that Trump is starting to wind some things back. Now, why is he doing that? Because we have a situation where the US dollar is tanking and the bond prices are also tanking at the same time, which means the bond yield is going up. And that usually doesn't happen. So we can see, right, so we'll just go to the weekly and have a look here. That's about 100. So this goes all the way back. This is like 2015 and all that sort of stuff. So we're falling, the US dollar is falling down. It tagged 99. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, it's been here before in the last couple of years, but the other problem that they have is that here's the bond yield. Now the bond yield is all the way up almost to like 4.6, and they want it down here, well, as low as they can get it, because it'll be cheaper for them to pay back the interest on the loans that they've shelled out to people that have bought the bonds. But the problem is that people are dumping bonds as well, so China especially, right? So what the hell does all that mean? So the market doesn't like it. The world is basically telling Donald Trump that what you're doing is crazy. So what happened? So I asked ChatGPT to summarize it all because I'm not really across all this stuff. I'm not a macroeconomic expert. It came back with a really good summary. So this is what's happening, right? It's bad when the currency drops in value and the bond prices also drop at the same time. Why? So when the currency drops, investors are losing confidence in the country's economy, which is true. There might be inflation concerns or political instability. Yes, there's definitely inflation concerns, because now everything coming in from China is like 140 something percent more than what it was last week, right? Foreign investors are selling off assets and converting it out of the currency, which is also true because the stock market's fallen and gold prices going up, right? Bond prices drop and yields go up. This means investors are selling off bonds, yes, demanding higher yields to compensate for the risk. It's risky now. People are unsure of what's going on in the US, so the yield that you're getting to compensate for the risk isn't enough, right? So could signal a loss of confidence in the government's ability to repay debt and control inflation. So why both dropping is it a red flag? It suggests that a broader loss of investor confidence. Yes, it's true. Foreign investors may be fleeing, dumping bonds, which they are. Could reflect expectations of inflation, a debt crisis, or policy mismanagement. That is definitely the concern, right? You see it all over the social media and the news. Like, people are questioning his methods, like what's going on. It's a complete mismanagement. Tariffs are crazy, yada, yada, right? It's sometimes referred to as a twin sell-off. Currency weakness, imports become more expensive, and then inflations rise. Yes, inflations rise, bond yields must rise, bond prices fall, higher yields, debt costs go up. That's a bad thing because the US is already in crazy debt. Puts more strain on government finances. Investors get nervous and they sell more, and it's a negative feedback loop, right? I've seen videos of people that have businesses in the United States saying that they're going to go out of business because they can't afford, the costs of getting either their raw products or their finished products into the country to sell them. They're just not competitive anymore. So the TLDR is that, when currency and the bond prices are both falling at the same time, it's obviously bad. If investor confidence, there's fear, there's uncertainty. What has happened since then? We've seen Trump, even in the last 24 hours, walk back some tariffs on things from China. So there's now exceptions on PCs, like computer parts and phones. So that'll make Apple happy. There's a 90-day pause, like on all the tariffs except for China. And that's all good, but it still hasn't broken trend. So the the overall sentiment is still one of worry. We've come back, we've tagged this area, which I pointed out before in the past videos. So as far as TA is concerned, it makes sense. The world imploding, the US have had to take the foot off the gas for a little bit. What's going to happen now? No idea. I don't think anybody really knows. Trump could just walk back everything or struck a trade deal. If you believe what they say on the news, there's like 70 countries lining up to do trade deals. That's great. What we're also seeing is that, China and the EU are doing trade deals. And that's something that I spoke about too, is that before, in a couple of videos before, is that if things are going to get difficult with the US, then other countries will just trade amongst themselves. Like, the US isn't the only market that exists. It's like the biggest one, but it's not the only one. And if the economies don't work out, you can't sell it there, or it's too expensive there, and it's easier over here, then, you got to do what you got to do. You also got the loophole thing, right? Because you've got now everywhere else except China doesn't have tariffs. Oh, there's a pause for 90 days. That doesn't mean they've gone away. There's just a pause, but you can still get stuff to the US by rerouting it through another country. And there's a whole bunch of Chinese factories that already have other factories that they own, like in other places like Vietnam, right? So at least for the next 90 days, everything's on hold. China and US are fighting it out. The stock market is back. It's happier, but it's still not up here, which is the bullish area, right? But it has regained a level at least. But we'll be happier once it gets up here, but it's not. So it could just, consolidate around here for a while. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? Bitcoin's having a big rally. It hasn't broken the 50 yet, which is this blue line. It wants to break trend though. It kind of has, but it's stuck below the EMAs here. What does the line chart look like? We'll just get rid of the EMAs for now. So the line chart, now the line chart is good. It makes things clearer. The line chart is what the candlesticks would look like without the wicks, like the highs and the lows. It only looks at the close of the candle. That's where the line gets drawn. So if you look at the line chart, we're trying to break trend here. So this is good. This is good. But we haven't broken this high, this swing high here. So for a trend change to occur, we need that to happen. We need to break this high and then, come back, retest, and then shoot off. We want to see higher highs and higher lows. What could happen is maybe a lower swing and then like this. So higher lows and higher highs, right? That's what a bull trend is. So we haven't seen any of that yet, but it is promising. It's good. There's still this gap here between this line of the previous swing high here and here. Will it come back down? Probably not. It wouldn't surprise me though if it did. See, the price on the weekly has bounced off the 50 here. So, and it tagged it like it's so close. It looks like it was front run. 88 is still the line for me. You can see it. You can see the swing here. I'll just put it back to 88. Now, the reason I say 88 is because 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. So China's a massive trader. You see it all the time. If you stare at charts often enough, like I have, you'll see price react to 8s. It might even be like $100.88 or $88.88, or like if there's 8s in there, it's a lucky number. So 88,000 is the line in the sand for me. We pass that, we good, we Gucci, everything's fine. In the meantime, though, we've seen huge rallies in the alts. So Solana is up, Bitcoin's up 2% in the last 24 hours, but Solana's up 8.5%. It's still a similar pattern though. Get this line back in. So for Solana, it's crossed this swing here and this support area here. So this is good, but we're still getting stuck with the 50 EMA. So it's it's a similar situation, right? For Solana to be bullish, we want like really, really bullish. We want it to be like that, like a high time frame bullish sort of thing. It's close. We're getting there. ETH, where are we at with ETH? So ETH's recovered back from here. If we look at the weekly, huge wick down, huge. So here's that's the previous all-time high back in 2018, and we tagged that to the dollar. Perfect. Bounce. And we've regained this level. So better, but I mean, that's just straight down. It's not good. ETH BTC is almost at the bottom. Like, would not surprise me at all if we just continue down here, right? So meaning that Bitcoin outperforms ETH just for a little bit more. So it could go down to here. That would be the retest for me. That would be the, maybe you buy some ETH. But for me, here's the Solana ETH chart. I don't know why you would be buying ETH at all if, let's go to the daily. Why you would when it's breaking out. It's stronger, right? If you're buying ETH for other reasons other than price, go nuts. But if you're here to make money, buying ETH when you could be buying Solana, I don't know why you would do that. It's clear in the chart, right? Straight up. It's been going straight up since June of 2023. So I don't see that stopping at all. So stick with that. Seen massive changes, big swings in other things. Doge, not a big swing, but a huge bounce considering it's the biggest terms in terms of memes, that is. Popcat, huge off the lows. So that's hit the bottom. That is up 100% in a couple of days. It's a similar story with other memes too. The cool thing with here is that it's crossed the daily 50, so that's good. So as long as it stays above here and doesn't like do a rejection, like tag it and fall down like it does here. See, it's hit this, rejected and gone back down. As long as it closes above here, it would be okay if it did something like, that's fine. But you don't want it to go much past this level here. Otherwise it'll just revisit the lows again. So that'll just be a reflection of, again, macro stuff. The memes follow, Solana memes will follow Solana. Solana will follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin will follow the stock market. Everything's correlated. So things looking good there. Bonk's also recovered. You can see how the chart patterns of here's Bonk, here's Popcat, here's Bonk, here's Popcat, here's Bonk, right? See? The same. And you can do this with lots of other pairs that are related. So everything's correlated. So don't stress so much that you might see another coin that's absolutely ripping. If you look at the chart patterns of your coin and the other one, are they similar? Then they're going to follow each other. So, don't sell your bag to then buy the one that's already pumped, because it'll slow down and the other ones will catch up. Right, so this is CoinGecko. This is the categories page, and we're looking at just meme coins in general. The entire market cap of it's gone up 10% in the past 24 hours. Trending ones here. So Filecoin's had lots of activity, but it slowed down of late. Huge run up, huge. It was above this before. Just looking at the volume being traded, so I just clicked on here and sorted it. These are the ones that are the most popular in terms of volume. You can see here that some good standouts, like Popcat's doing 220 million in trade volume, but the market cap's 262. So it's almost trading its entire market cap in 24 hours. That's crazy. Whereas you compare it with something like, say, Doge, which does almost 4 times the volume, but it's $25 billion market cap. So the amount of coins that are traded compared to its size isn't as impressive as this is. So Polkadot's doing more than what Bonk is, and Bonk's a billion, so that's like doing 1 to 5. This is like almost 1 to 1. Dog with Hat is 1 to 2. Fartcoin is about maybe 1 to 2.5 or something. Trump and Fartcoin are doing the same volume, but Trump's 1.7 billion. So yeah, I mean, these are the popular ones, right? In terms of trade volume, even Vine is doing, whoa, what's that? Like 3 times the amount of volume that its market cap is. That's crazy. So it's up 28% in the last week. So just in the last 24 hours. So you can see there's like all these double digits. So the market is looking to get green. It just needs some good news, and it's wanting to pump. It's the same with the stock market. It's bounced heaps, but it was under that trend line, right? So because the tariffs are still there, and the battle with China is still there, so there is worry. Once that goes away and it's cleared up, it's back on. If we just look back at the large market cap stuff, Solana's up 10, Ripple's up 7. For the week, Solana's up 10 as well. Ripple only up 1%. So of the tokens in the top 10, Solana is dominating. Sui's putting in a good show. Avalanche up 14. These are large caps, so yeah, everything it's looking good. I'm still cautious, right? I wanna see price up here. I want it to break through here. I want it to be above 88, and then we're on. Because with this uncertainty, we could just, go up to here, hit this, and sort of meander around here for the next 90 days. There's just still heaps of uncertainty. So, but it's positive. We're moving in the right direction. So still bullish for the rest of the year. We just need more clear direction as to what's happening. Hopefully we get it next week. News-wise, what's happening? I'm starting to see lots more people posting chart setups, so you can tell the vibe is changing just on Twitter, right? So, which is a good thing. We want that. Google Play Store is botted. Seriously, obviously, tricks are paid to rate Rabby so low. Rabby is literally 100 times better than MetaMask. It is. Don't use MetaMask. It's awful. I didn't know they had an app though. Okay, cool. Yeah, but the wallet, the wallet extension, Rabby, yeah, so much better than MetaMask. Give it a shot. Okay, you don't need to create new wallets or anything. Just import your MetaMask wallets into Rabby. Yeah, really good. Sol ETH, yeah, we've spoken about that. That's going crazy. Oh man. Uniswap founder discovers that lower fee pools have higher volume. Yeah, yeah. The top Uniswap pool across all chains is a new custom fee of 0.001%. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, it's USDC to USDT, so is this your first time using your product? Yeah, so this is what I was talking about before. So Apple and Nvidia are, going to benefit because, the tariffs on GPUs and computers and phones and stuff, they're gone away. Pentagon's going to end 5.1 billion worth of IT and consulting contracts with Accenture and Deloitte. Doge doing its thing. Good friend in supply chain logistics in China that just told me that they already started getting around these tariffs by shipping into Vietnam first and then into the US. Yeah. Tariffs don't make sense, man, because there's too many loopholes, right? Yeah, inflation came in a couple of days ago and it was low. Oh, sorry, not inflation. Manufacturing numbers came in and they were low. So, and that was just from the month just gone. So all the craziness that has happened recently isn't going to show up in the numbers until the next report. And it's already low. Recession fears. The DeFi broker rule got revoked, so that was good. Here's the EU and China talking about, free trade agreements amongst themselves or whatever. They want to reduce tariffs on electric cars between themselves. So, well, if we can't sell cars in America, then we'll sell them to everyone in Europe. Europe loves the green stuff. They're all about that, trying to save the planet. 100 public companies are now buying Bitcoin for their balance sheets. Okay, good. Oh yeah, so Florida voted yes to a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Not a single no vote. So that's great. Great. This guy here, Paul Atkins, he's now the chairman of the SEC and he is a Bitcoin bull. So that is good too. 21 shares launched a Dogecoin ETF. Gold reserves may be used to purchase Bitcoin. You are not bullish enough. Yeah, they hinted at that before. So, but until it is, it isn't. So we'll see. But it's good that there is a way to do it, right? So what they're going to do is reprice the gold that they have in their reserves, because apparently, this is something I didn't know, is that the value of the gold that they hold is set at the price that it was back in the 70s or something like that. So, it's only like a couple $100 an ounce, but now it's what, $3,000 an ounce? This is pretty much it, right? I mean, I'm in the camp of I don't know yet, but it looks good. What if it does go straight back to all-time highs, right? What if everybody goes, there's too much uncertainty, we need to buy something that's outside of traditional finance, even though, BlackRock and everybody else has got their hands on it, is going to zero. It's not going to zero, that's for sure. But, whether it goes straight back to all-time highs or not. Oh, the exemption is retroactive back to April 5. Wow, okay. Apple flew in a whole bunch of iPhones on planes, man. And they didn't. They just spent all that money, didn't have to. Oof. This guy has some good takes. Let's see what he says. And then we'll end the video, I think. It's the weekend. There's not really much going on now. Everything happened already. Historic week. Yes, it felt like a year. Yes, well, welcome to crypto. It's like a day is a week here. If you want to be seen so far in terms of headlines on Friday, the Trump administration will have to further ramp down tariff plans and or show some kind of significant good news on the path of tariff negotiations, especially with China, which hasn't happened. So we'll see what happens on Monday. Federal Reserve will have to step in some way. If they step in, markets are going to rip. Because everybody will go, oh my God, it's quantitative easing, right? And all this liquidity will come in and then everything's going to go up. So, and if you couple that with, we've made a deal with China and then we're reducing tariffs or removing them, then we're back on track to where we were in January. So, cautiously optimistic. That's about the summary. Okay, cool. Talk to you later.